Alright, so here we are with the final impressions, I guess, of City of the Wolves before the game comes out. Overall, I would say that I don't think that I'm going to be purchasing this game. And it really just comes down to the fact that the game just feels kind of ancient already. It feels like a very dated game, even though it's not even out yet. But, to give SNK credit, they definitely fixed the main problems from the first beta. I'm not really having those weird netcode issues that I was having almost every single match. And the matchmaking seems to be pretty fixed. So, yeah, those problems are fixed, but my final impressions on the game haven't really changed that much. I just feel like the game is dated. I mean, this just feels like a PS4 game, like a PS4 quality fighting game. You buy the game, you're gonna get your characters and your arcade mode, and that's it. And I just feel like we're kind of past that stage of fighting games. I feel like we kind of we're starting to leave that stage behind. And the fighting games that keep that model are normally, you know, indie games. And I actually got someone on one of my videos. I was talking about Fatal Fury, and I was kind of saying this in that video, and they said that it's completely unfair and unreasonable to compare an SNK game to a Bandai and a Capcom game. I'm essentially comparing the game to Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, right? When I say that this game feels dated, when I say this game feels, you know, old, I'm comparing it to, you know, the new generation of fighting games, which is Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. Those games have set a new standard for fighting games. And people were like, well, it was mainly one guy, but actually I got a few guys in the other, on other videos back in the past, because I actually said this about KOF 15. I said that KOF 15 should not be getting any, like, people defending it when that game was having its problems. And, you know, when I was complaining about the problems, people would be like, it's SNK, you know. SNK is a very tiny company compared to Capcom and Bandai. And yeah, don't get me wrong, that's true. However, I will never understand people who say that like that means anything. It doesn't matter how big or how small a company is. Capcom and Bandai are your direct competitors with Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6. You're making two games, you're making, well, I guess 3 games competing in the same exact genre. Mainly Street Fighter 6 and Fatal Fury, right? Those are 2D fighting games, same exact genre and everything, right? They are like competitors, although they do collaborate together. At the end of the day, that's how the market works. You can buy both games or you can buy one game. They are competitors, right? It doesn't matter how big a company is. When you're selling a product for the same price as your competitor, that's all that matters. And you have to look at the offerings within the product to see how they compare. I never understood this defending these companies, and I always call this out. I call this out whenever, you know, Mortal Kombat did something bad, whenever Street Fighter did something bad, whenever Tekken did something bad. I've made so many videos calling out these problems. And I'm not just gonna defend SNK because they're a tiny company. That makes no sense, because at the end of the day, you have Street Fighter 6 and Fatal Fury, right? both $60 games at launch, so you have to compare them. When you buy Fatal Fury, you're getting characters, stages, arcade mode. That's really the meat of it right there. When you buy Street Fighter 6, you're getting characters, stages, arcade mode, full story mode with a created character where you can make pretty much your own Street Fighter character and go through this mini open world of Street Fighter and fighting, you know, NPCs. It's a very ambitious story mode for a fighting game. You know, Tekken 8's story mode is this amazing, like, action movie. Super high quality, insane action movie. Fatal Fury doesn't have a story mode. And unless I'm wrong and they announced it, Fatal Fury does not have a story mode. It just has the standard fighting game arcade mode. So, yeah, you have to compare. You have to compare. These are same price. I mean, which one is really better? And that's what comes down to it. And I just don't think that this game is worthy of that price, especially after the disaster that was KOF 15. You know, I already have a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to SNK. I don't like the way they did KOF 15. So, you know, even though Fatal Fury has great gameplay and honestly pretty decent graphics, I enjoy the art style in this game. I don't think it justifies, for me personally, I'm not justified in buying it because, like, I could just play Tekken 8 or Street Fighter 6. I'm not a massive SNK fan, you know. I'll play whatever fighting game is, you know, popping off. Whatever fighting game I enjoy. So, if I really enjoy this game, I'll play this game. But I really like Street Fighter 6, I really like Tekken 8, I can just go play those games. Have I been playing those games? No. You know, I don't like the direction that those games are heading in, but I still prefer those games. So, like, there's nothing really of value here for me. You get you're paying $60 for an arcade game, pretty much. That's coming out in 2025. And, you know, 3-4 years ago, that was the standard. This game would have been perfectly fine 3, 4, 5 years ago. But the new standard is so much higher that the only way to compete is to either bring your game up to that standard or offer a better deal. $60 is going to get you the game and the first season pass. The first season pass is actually included for free with your purchase of the game, but I still don't think that justifies it. I really don't, because the game itself is already 1/4 of the game that Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 is. For example, another really small fighting game is meltyblood. Meltyblood came out before Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. It was not competing with those games. It came out, what, 2 years before Street Fighter 6 did? And guess what? That game was $50 when it came out. And every single DLC character they ever added to that game was free for the entire lifespan of that game. Now that's a deal. And that game wasn't even competing with Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. That was still back in the days of you buy a fighting game and you get an arcade mode pretty much, and that was it. So, I don't think there's really an excuse for SNK here. I just think that, I don't think the game is bad, but the game is not streamlined enough, right? Forget the content, right? Let's not even talk about the content. Yeah, this game has no content compared to Street Fighter 6, but let's look at the actual experience. The menus in this game are slow and delayed and weird looking. The matchmaking, it is fixed, but it's nowhere near as streamlined and efficient as Street Fighter. You know, the loading screens in Street Fighter are like non-existent. You always have a match ready to go in Street Fighter, even Tekken 8. Like, What they do have in this game is not the best in the genre. It's not the most streamlined, it's not the most efficient. And they're also offering the least out of every game in the genre right now that is relevant. So, I don't see a point in playing this game. Or for me, if you're an SNK fan, this game is amazing already. That's clear. This game, if you're an SNK diehard fan, this is your game. I have bought every single fighting game that has come out, every single mainline fighting game that has come out since Dragon Ball FighterZ came out. I bought DragonBallfighterz, I bought dnfduel, Granblue, meltyblood, Streetfighter 5, even when that came out before. But like, this will be the first fighting game I miss, and that's just because nowadays I don't have a lot of time. And if I'm going to put my time into something, it should be something that I actually genuinely enjoy. This game is not a bad game, but like I said, I'd rather just play Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8. And for my channel, I don't have a very big channel, clearly, right? This game is not going to help my channel. I don't think this game is going to have a very big viewership pool. I think this game is going to be relatively small. I don't know if this is going to be the biggest SNK game. Ronaldo is in the game. That probably will help, but I don't know how much that's going to help. I don't know how big this game is going to be. I really don't. I hope it does well, right? The only thing that I'm a little sad about missing is Ken. You know, I really wanted to play Ken in this game. I think it's gonna look sick. But I just can't. If you're someone who is new to fighting games and you're trying to get into fighting games, I can't recommend this game. I would say just go play Tekken 8, or mostly just go play Street Fighter 6. If you're a diehard fighting game fan, then yeah, you can play the game if you're interested, but like, you can probably see what I'm talking about. It's clearly not on the same level of quality. So it's just, all around, I think this game needed to be bigger. I think they needed to have a grander scale. Or, personally, I think this game should have been $40. I think that would have been an absolute grand slam deal right there. $40, that would have been a banger. But unfortunately, that's not how it turned out. And again, not a bad game, just a dated game. This definitely feels like a fighting game from 5-6 years ago, you know. You buy the game, you get the characters, you get the stages, you get the arcade mode, that's it. You're lucky if the game has a story mode, and I'm pretty sure this game does not have a story mode. So this is the standard fighting game experience from the previous generation. But Street Fighter 6 has been out for, what, 2 years now? We've had this new standard for a while, and now it's pretty much gone. So I'm going to let the rest of this video play out. You know, like, sub, let me know how you feel about the game, and will you be playing it? Peace.
We should bring in Rock and Joe. Have ourselves a master-student showdown.